Hey, hope all is well. So this week I caught myself procrastinating for a couple of tasks that I had to do. So during that time, like I think it was around like Tuesday or Wednesday, I was like, why don't I just discuss what I'm doing right now? And it's procrastinating. So this week we'll discuss procrastination. I'll talk about my understanding of why humans tend to procrastinate and some ways to avoid it. And from there, we'll see how it goes. But I think that should be relatively a fun topic to discuss because this it happens here and there, but this week in particular, I kept procrastinating on a lot of things, and um, it's something that like I discuss with people, and they tend to tell me very similar stories. So I think before we start anything, the best way to have a discussion, I would say, or have an understanding on what we're discussing, I think the best thing to start with is have a mutual definition. Uh, Fun fact, Webster's dictionary, the only reason this dictionary was made was because I forgot who Webster was having a discussion with, but he said uh, we may not be able to control what they're saying, but we can make sure how they say it can be monitored. And that's why creating the words and the definition, it allowed for a basic structure. So what I'm getting to that with is the fact that let's define what procrastination is. And if I just Google procrastination, it comes up the action of delaying or postponing something. The action of delaying or postponing. So now we can think of this in two ways. Are you procrastinating deliberately, or is it circumstantial? Because if uh, you could be technically procrastinating if uh, something of a more time sensitive matter comes in, so you could reprioritize your to-do list and course correct from there. So I want to leave that out of this conversation because you can't really situational causes, you can't really have a general underlying assumption because they vary from person to person and event to event. So we're mainly going to do procrastination to for tasks that like working out, reading something, or getting a task done where you're just like, yeah, I'll do it later. So I think my understanding of procrastination has always been you're either coming from a fear of like whether it be a fear of failure or fear of even success. Like it's surprising to see how many people are scared of success but they don't realize it. So that's always that's a fun topic for some other day. But yeah, so like you envision something and you just don't foresee a good outcome for it, and you feel like it's not gonna turn out in your favor, so you delay things, you put it off till later. Like the future, I usually will worry about it. That's what I usually say. Like I don't want to be that guy, but it doesn't really help you. But either way, that's one reason people procrastinate. Another thing is, um, you could also procrastinate by overestimating your short-term abilities and saying, "Oh, when that time arrives, I'll be so good, I'll do it then." In which you're like kind of overconfident. So that positive aspect of it could also lead to procrastination. And the reason I started off with like the negative reasons and the positive reasons is because the reason varies on your current mindset. So let me expand on that. If right now I am feeling in like more of a negative mood, I'm not, or like a negative type of mindset per se, anything I want to do on my to-do list, I'll most likely interpret bad outcomes. So what does that mean? Like, oh, I could skip this report for now because I don't think it's going to be needed this month. No one's even talking about it. And just kind of like reconfirm why I should undermine this task. So if if I'm in a negative outcome. But now if I'm in a more positive outcome, like if I'm more of in a positive mindset, what happened is like, oh, I feel good right now, so I'm probably gonna feel good 2 hours from now. And right now I feel like I could really get this done. So you know what? 2 hours from now, I can really get this done. So that's kind of like the pause, like when you're in a good mindset, that's why you would find a reason to procrastinate, because you just become overconfident in your short-term abilities. And with discussing what procrastination is and how your current mindset projects your future reasoning to procrastinate at the moment, I think the best segue to take it from here would be to really talk about how to prevent it. Because, okay, it's easy to say we have a problem, but if like some options are not there, I don't think it's actually helpful for just the diagnosis. It's like, oh, geez, thanks. Like, I could have figured that out myself too, right? But what are some ways to prevent procrastination? And the answer is I'm sure there are hundreds of methods that people will come up with, but for me, the tried and true method that I've stuck with throughout my journey, and every time I've had like moments of like either despair or extreme static, and like I just utilize discipline, like just gotta get it done. Like, yeah, I just always just had that like mindset that like, okay, I would never do, like, I'm never the type of dude that you'll see me doing like 10-15 tasks. Like I know a lot of people that I could remind me of just saying, wow, he's always up to something, like making moves and stuff. No, I can't do that. But I'll make like one major move, and that's like equivalent to like the 10-15 moves being made. And that the only reason is because of discipline. I know I don't have to do 10 different tasks because I'm doing 10 tasks preset already. So I only choose to do 5 per se, because 10 are already set. I don't have to do 10 tasks. Like, it's gonna be done. So yeah, just like some of my weekly requirements are sometimes like overbearing, but that's what just works for me. It's because like if I don't have like a set schedule, then like I guess procrastination will just naturally occur, because I would just be like, maybe I want to do this, maybe I want to do this. But now if I say I have to get this done at 11 a.m., I come here, I put the phone on the tripod, and it's like 11 o'clock's here. It's just time to do a video. If I prepped, it'll turn out to be a decent video. If I didn't prep, I'll embarrass myself. But either way, the record's going. No editation, no filter, no notes. It's you record a video and you get it done. But yeah, and I think discipline is one for me. But one other method that I've heard that people utilize is like 25-minute blocks. So it's like you give yourself breaks. Not too familiar with that method. Never really utilized it, so I can't even say if it works or not. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick. I wanted to give some other advice, but like I can't really say something that I'm not applying because I can't really speak to it. And the only thing the only thing that's worked for me, and I'm sure different things work for different people, is just staying true to my discipline, just staying true to like the mission. And once you know the mission, and it's like you just ask yourself the question, are you gonna do it or not? And it's really a yes or no question. And if the answer is yes, procrastination doesn't really come up. But even with the discipline, I wouldn't say I'm immune to procrastination, because as I said just this past week, um, the whole motivation for this lecture today was I was procrastinating. So even with that, it does come a little overwhelming. So one another thing I do want to segue into is the outcome of procrastination, because one outcome of me procrastinating this week pretty much was I didn't really have time to have more examples of the positive the positive mindset that you're in, and how it really affects how it contributes to your overconfidence, which leads to procrastination. And I didn't really have specific examples of when you're in a negative mindset, how that could lead to procrastination using more of like a negative narrative. So that is actually my fault, because I felt for procrastination, and this video is not going to be as long as my usual ones. But hey, I'd be damned if I stop, or like I don't post a video on a Sunday when I'm able to, just because of a lack of preparation. Because I am very comfortable with just like messing up on my channel, because I've done it. Like I've like, I don't really look at my videos, but I've seen like once or twice, and I just kind of cringe. And I don't think that feeling kind of goes away. But I'm so happy I'm making these videos. That's why I'm still doing it, because I may feel embarrassed, but that's just because I also look at it as a viewing of growth. Because if you consider yourself foolish from your past action, then I actually congratulate you, because you've grown and you're not still making the foolish mistakes. So it's okay to feel embarrassed, but it's also important to be nice to yourself and just stay focused on task. Because one thing that keeps me going is that I know these videos are not gonna be as like, my best video is always the video I'm gonna make next week. And if you had asked me when I first started this, I was like, my first video is kind of iffy, but my next week video is gonna be great. And this is a trend that I've been seeing, and I'm very happy to see, because I just feel like I'm just getting better each video. And now that I'm like actually starting to put up more work, add a little more structure, like this week I was able to highlight what we're gonna discuss. We're gonna discuss procrastination. We were able to discuss the cause of procrastinations. Then we were able to discuss how we could prevent procrastination. And this added structure, I don't think I even thought about when I first started this. And the fact that I've thought about it now, and I'm starting to implement this type of structure, I'm happy. It is definitely something new, and I'm excited. And next week I'm hoping to have something. So I've been reading a lot of history books about like political relations. Currently I'm reading one on Iran and the United States, and to my surprise, like, um, there's a lot of history that I'm not aware about, and it's really fascinating. So one thing I'm very fascinated with is I guess like empires that we're not very much familiar with because they've either they got divided up or divvied up, but it's like their ideologies and beliefs are pretty cool. So what I'm really hoping to start constructing now is different sorts of ideologies from different time and really make like a pattern of stories like that, and that could be a nice segment. I think that's I would say that's like a 2 to 3 month project, so that's something fun that I'm thinking about. But like I said, this is just to improve my lecture giving skills, and I haven't really thought about the content in it yet. But as I get more comfortable with just sitting and speaking, uh, I'm starting to think of like cool things I could incorporate. So I'm very excited to be in this position, and next week I'll have more of like an idea on where it started, and it'll be exciting. So we'll see where it goes from there. But with everything going on in the world, I appreciate you for spending some time with me. Take care.